What are your early impressions of Wings defense?
Yeah, these guys do a lot up front. As far as just, a lot of pressure, I'm sure you guys have seen, but they do a good job, of just causing chaos. So, got to be able to handle it.
How challenging is the pre-snap game here, exactly, with them? Like, they bring a lot of guys up, and they drop sometimes. You kind of never know who's coming.
Yeah, the goal is to communicate, be able to have a plan, and then, if they do something differently, kind of knowing your issues and how to survive the play. It's kind of one of those things you feel like, as well as the coaches are preparing you and as well as you feel like it's like we'll see on game day. You got to be able to handle it and do it out there, so we'll see.
We talked about the red zone and third down success or lack thereof before. Just kind of what do you have to do to kind of rectify that?
Yeah, I think everyone just doing their job, going back and learning from those past third downs and red zone opportunities, and just, how could we have just been a little bit better? How could I have been a little bit better? Which ones did I miss out on? And, I think that's all it comes down to, just progressively just trying to get better all the way around. And, the coaches are looking at it, we're looking at it, we're trying to find a way. So it's really all it comes down to. We're trying to find a way to be better on it.
As a quarterback, just how can you do your job and try to help, that offense move the ball a little bit better?
Yeah, doing my assignment on each play. Being as efficient as I can, get through my reads, making sure I'm getting the right protection checks, getting to the right run game checks, whatever it is. Just doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Or not you, but it seems like Wink, throughout the season, he blitzes and pressures significantly less against quarterbacks with experience.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just invent experience and work, and it comes in years, but you're in a different situation as Aaron has that experience. So have you been talking to him at all about ways to combat the defense based off of what he's seen in his 20 years?
I haven't spoken to Aaron yet. I'm sure I will later this week. And when if he makes a chance to come back down, but we always talk on the phone too. So that's something I'll ask him about. I think Hack and TD and Rob have done a good job though, putting together a good protection plan that even if different things are kind of thrown, we have rules and we have things that can kind of stick. So and I know those guys get that stuff because Hack spent a lot of time with Aaron. So they do an awesome job of having a good plan. So for me, it's just understanding those looks.
How do you feel like you've progressed in terms of when you're getting pressured, not letting guys bearing down on you affect just making the throw anyway? It seems like that's an area you've really been at.
Yeah, I think it's just one really understanding what they're throwing at you. Last year, my first 2 years, maybe not paying attention as much to what the pressure exactly was, and just you know your issues and that's it. But now I actually feel like I have an understanding of what's actually coming, that maybe you can set up in the pocket a little bit differently, or you can anticipate stepping up a little bit more, or you know where the pressure's coming from, you're able to replace it with a quick throw, or things like that. So I feel like it's progressively something I'm working on and trying to get better at. And then with all these rules, you got to be able to just hang in there as a quarterback and understand they can't body slam you to the ground, and that's about it.
Along those lines, Zach, something we saw from your first 2 years lot was maybe you go backwards, you spin, you're evasive, but you kind of end up behind lines for me. It feels like you're climbing the pocket a lot more now. Is that something you wanted to work on this offseason? Was that a point of emphasis?
Yeah, huge point. There's not a lot good going outside the back of the pocket. And sure, was I getting away from some things and throwing them away? Sure, but you're not winning any games doing that. And the escapes to get out and make plays are going to be up through the line of scrimmage. You help out your offensive line doing that as well. And then if you do get sacked, it's not a brutal sack if you get sacked going up. And that's definitely been a point of emphasis.
Who taught you that? Or who was kind of the one that started hammering that into you?
Yeah, all the coaches I've been around, progressively will point to some on film, and then even my own. I've always thought that in my study. I watch a lot of other quarterbacks around the league, whether it be Mahomes or Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. Those guys don't do that. They don't run around the back of the pocket. And so, my off-season study, that was a huge point for me, was the pocket movement and pocket scrambles, and you never see those guys do that kind of thing. So it's just like, where do they find those lanes stepping up?
If a defense is going to make an effort to pressure you, and they're going to bring the house, they're going to keep sending it, as a quarterback, do you almost in a weird way, welcome it, because what it means is that I would imagine outside, guys like Allen, guys like Garrett, they're gonna have one-on-one opportunities and there's no safeties over top.
Yeah, absolutely. As a team, I mean, I think it's something we need to be able to prove that we can handle. I mean, I think we have a good plan, but on game day we have to go there and prove it. And I think if you handle it well, I mean, this isn't just speaking at the Giants. This is any team in general that gets pressured. If you handle it well, I mean, coverage isn't as good in the back end. You should be able to get after it a little bit. But I mean, everything has its rewards, and they make it harder on us by bringing pressure. If we can handle it, it makes it easier in the back end to be able to throw the ball a little bit.
Hackett said earlier today that the Kansas City game, since then you've been, having fun, having a little more fun, maybe expressing a little more confidence. Even Alan Lazard just said they can tell you're more confident even the way you speak in the huddle. What was it about that game, and do you think that was kind of a turning point for you in terms of leadership and performance?
Yeah, I think a little bit. I think it was probably the first time this year. I mean, the last 2 years, I think, tough spot and whatever with how I was mentally, and but it was finally like this year, that Chiefs game, not only, maybe a turning point like you said, but finally things felt like what I've been doing in practice, at least what I felt like I've been doing in practice since OTAs, was like, oh, look, it finally is coming on, and for whatever reason, I mean, it takes time, you get different looks, and you need to get comfortable with things, but I felt like finally that was the first game that was like, what, this is what I've been showing I can do, and I was able to do it, and kind of gains more trust with the guys around you as well, and they have more trust in me, I have more trust in them, and with Coach Hack as well too, and we're able to keep building on that, and it's a good feeling to have.
What was your kind of self-scouting process during the bye week? You went back and looked at the first 6 games?
Yeah, absolutely. Went back through a bunch of them, kind of what plays I could have gone through. Obviously, a big emphasis on situational football and the third downs and the red zone stuff, and as a quarterback, you pride yourself on those, especially the manageable ones, because when you start to get over 3rd and 8, it's tough because you don't want to lose the game on 3rd and 8, and you definitely can by trying to force something. So it's really the third manageables. Where did I have something easy? Where did I have an opportunity to get somewhere else that could have helped us convert on that to keep the chains going here? And that was a big part of my bye week process.
The coach had talked about wanting to get Xavier Gibson more involved, and I know in training camp, I imagine you guys had a lot of reps together, especially when you were running with the twos and whatnot. Like, what's your connection like with Xavier? And was it pretty early that you saw that he's somebody that might be able to stick around like he is?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from day one, I think that dude's done an unbelievable job, and obviously when Aaron was here and taking all the ones, like, that was my guy, that I was with, and sorry, this isn't even my phone. I don't know. Hopefully Aaron's not calling. But yeah, I mean, Xavier was standing out from day one, and he was someone I was working a lot with because Aaron was taking a lot of the ones, like I was saying, and I was spending a lot of time with him and Jason Brownlee, and so you've seen him really grow into the player he is, and he's obviously learning still every day, and he's stepping into that role of trying to get a little more reps there too. But obviously very talented and smart dude, and wants to be great. So that's all you can ask for.